Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedbuilding video, or welcome to the channel if you are new here. So in today's video I'm going to be building it in the world of Glimmerbrook, which is the world that we got with the game pack The Sims 4 Realm of Magic, and I'm going to be building a Spellcasters starter cottage. So this house is built on a 30 by 20 lot in the world where the original starter home lot was actually built, because whenever we get a new expansion pack or a new game pack and it comes with a world, we normally get starter homes in that world. Now this house is going to be for my save file, and so obviously I'm going to rebuild the whole entire thing. No renovations here, just building it all from scratch. And I want to mention as well, because I got a comment a few days ago I think it was, and someone asked if I'm going to be doing starter homes in all the worlds. Yes, for my save file I'm going to be doing a starter home in at least every single world that I can. So I think I'm going to probably have about 2 starter homes in Willow Creek, and then at least 1, put it that way, in every single world. But this house is for my save file like I mentioned, and I just really wanted to sit down and build a little cottage. Now I don't know if it's just me, but I know it's not just me. I am so excited for the Sims 4 cottage living. Couldn't tell you honestly how many times I've watched the trailer. I find myself going onto YouTube every single day, rewatching the trailer and then just finding new trailer reactions, because I just love seeing everyone's excitement. I just can't wait to be playing with little chickens and llamas and cows and bunnies, and having my Sims be farmers, just proper up my street, proper my type of gameplay. And I feel like July 22nd is so far away. I think we've got roughly about 5 weeks or so. It actually comes out 3 days before my birthday, and you believe I am spending my birthday playing The Sims 4 Country living my best life. I just can't wait for it. But I was just really wanting to sit down and build a little cottage and just kind of get into the spirit of cottage living. Now I feel like spellcasters and farming kind of go together quite nicely. I always like the idea of maybe having a spellcaster that's really into gardening and doing potions, and if you've got a spellcaster that's a farmer, they've got so many different ingredients in their back gardens, you can just pop them into potions. I just thought it would be nice. Maybe you wanted to have a spellcaster sim and kind of get them a little bit ready for cottage living. I know I've actually got a family which I've recently created myself that I'm going to play through a couple of generations, and then by the time the new expansion pack comes out I'll be able to actually have a new kind of like farmer's legacy kind of thing going on. But now saying that, I also now want to go and create a spellcaster sim that's going to live in this house, and then by the time the new expansion pack comes out they can go and be a farmer, and maybe no one in Henford on Bagley knows that they're a spellcaster and they've just got this massive garden full of all these different herbs and whatnot that goes into potions, and no one in the world knows. I feel like that might be quite a good gameplay idea. But anyway, moving on from that and actually talking about the build itself. So I really wanted this build to feel as fairy tale like as possible. I wanted it to be something out of a bedtime story. I tried to make it as magical as I could possible. I tried to put little mushrooms all around the lot, and I tried to do as much landscaping as possible. Now this is a starter home. This starter home, the landscaping, only cost me, I think it's about 20 simoleons in total for all the landscaping. Now we will move on to the landscaping in a minute, but you will see there's quite a bit of landscaping, and for a starter home, not too bad if I do say so myself. Now I did actually use all the landscaping from the debug menu and the live edit menu. I speak about this mod quite a lot, but I've got a mod installed into my game which allows me to access the live edit menu and the debug menu in my normal build and buy. And the best thing about it for me is that I can like kind of filter it off and on. So say if I wanted to look for a certain object in the debug menu, I could just switch it on, look for it, find it, and then turn it off. Because I remember when I used to not have this mod installed before it was a thing, and I used to want to use something in the debug menu, you used to have to activate the cheat, but then for the rest of the time that you're building until you come out of the game, the cheat was enabled, and then you just have tons of debug menu items just filling out your build and buy. The mod is an absolute lifesaver. I speak about it quite a lot, but this mod it just kind of enabled me to build this starter home with all the landscaping that I did, because it didn't cost me barely anything, about 20 simoleons, and the 20 simoleons were only for rocks, because there's quite a lot of rocks in this world and I wanted it to fit in with the like surrounding areas. I did that with the flowers as well. I wanted to try and replicate all the different flowers that are in this world, all the little mushrooms, and it just, if we ever get fairies as well in the game, I feel like a fairy could live here quite easily, quite fairy tale like. I absolutely love this house. I hope you guys like it as well. I also want to mention that I was actually looking at a picture when I was building this. Now whenever I look at pictures, whether it's just to get a little bit of inspiration or whether I'm trying to replicate something in the game, I always like to mention it just so you know. So I'll find the picture and I'll pop it up on the screen now. I found this picture on Pinterest, and when I say that I just saw it and I was like, you belong in Glimmerbrook, like you do. I don't know what it is, but me and towers in Glimmerbrook, the house that I've got in my save file so far, they've got towers in it, and I just thought, why not do a little starter home with a tower? It fits in with, this house fits in with the surrounding area, but then it also fits in with the other houses because they've all got towers now. And even though it's not as grand as the other towers that I've got in this world, I still wanted it to be a starter home version of a tower. I just really like the tower. But yeah, I was looking at a picture on Pinterest when I was building this. Like I said, I always like to mention it just so you know that, you know, I didn't pop this idea out of my head. But anyway, moving from that, as you can see, I'm actually now going in and doing all the landscaping, which didn't cost my sim a simoleon. Literally didn't. It only cost my sim a simoleon when I actually get in and I go around and I add all the little mushrooms and the rocks to kind of make it blend in with the surrounding area. Also, I want to mention that when your sim will actually move into this house, they'll have roughly around about 2,500 simoleons left. Now, if you've watched my other starter house videos, then you'll know this. But the thing that I'm doing with my save file with starter houses is I'm doing it so your sim will move in and there's a kitchen and there's a bathroom. But then you get to choose the bed, you get to choose the sofa, you get to kind of decorate it to your sim's personality, because whenever you go into, say, like a new save file in the game, a lot of the starter houses barely have any personality. A lot of them don't even really have that much furniture. But then saying that, not even starter homes, just other homes in The Sims 4, I know there's like a limit that they can actually do on objects within builds when they like give us new builds, but there's not ton of kind of like personality in the builds. Now, I don't want to design starter homes for maybe like an artist or maybe like a criminal or maybe like a chef, and you wanted an interior designer to move in. Wouldn't make much sense. And so the way I'm doing my save file, or the starter houses in my save file, is you move in and then you have money left over to choose the furniture, but there is the bare basics. Your sim's got a fridge, an oven, counter space, sinks and toilets and showers and bathtubs. There's actually a shower and bathtub in this house. The bathroom's quite big, it's quite spacious. I will say that it's quite difficult when I do starter houses though, because I do love a little bit of decoration. I do love cluttering up my houses and making them feel very lived in. When I was doing the bathroom, I was just so tempted to place down a plant in the corner and then like a little laundry basket in the corner and, you know, like a little toilet roll and whatnot. I was so tempted to do it, but I had to hold myself back because I want you guys to do that when you download this house off the gallery. And once my save file is released as well, then you can just move a sim into any world and just decorate the house to your sim's personality. I did actually do a little test to see what your sims could actually buy with a leftover budget of the 2,500 simoleons, and your sims can actually buy quite a bit of furniture, and nice furniture as well. It's not even the cheap furniture. Now, when I actually came in and I actually furnished the kitchen and the bathroom, I tried not to use all the cheap stuff because I didn't want it to feel like a starter home on the inside. I wanted it to feel like a nice little country cottage. And so in the kitchen, I went for the country kitchen kit, you know, like the fridge, the oven, the counters and the sink, kind of like the collection from that kit. And then in the bathroom, I actually used the Parenthood counters. Now, you know, we've got the counters and then we've got the matching sink, which kind of like slots in between the counters. I used 2 counters and then the sink in the bathroom. Now, if you wanted to download this house and you wanted a little bit more money to work with, I would say definitely just delete them counters because they're about 200 simoleons a pop. Delete them and you've got some more money to work with to decorate this house. But I tried not to use the really cheap stuff. I did use the cheapest toilet, I will say that. But the cheapest toilet, it's alright. It's not too bad. I quite like the cheapest toilet, if I'm being honest. I more so actually use the cheaper toilets than the more expensive toilets in the game. By the way, why do we have so many toilets? We never need any more toilets in The Sims 4, that is for sure. We've got talking toilets, I think we've got a swan toilet, and then we've got modern, we don't need any more toilets, but I did use the cheapest one in this build. But yeah, my sim actually was able to buy quite a bit of furniture with a leftover budget. Now I tested it and your sim can actually buy a bed, a nice bed as well, not even the cheap bed. The one that I tested it with was a base game one. It's kind of like a farmhousey kind of style bed. It's got like a really big headboard. Hopefully you know which one I'm talking about. And then my sim was also able to buy a little table and chairs, a computer. Feel like a computer is so necessary in every single Sims house. And then as well as a cauldron. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ever since we've had Realm of Magic, I've always tried to avoid the word or refer to the cauldron as the big pot because I'm just not that great with pronunciations. Even though English is my first and my only language, I'm not very good at the language. My pronunciations it's not a finer quality of my own. And so, but anyway, you can actually afford one of them if you decide to download this house. I was really tempted to actually place one down into the actual build itself alongside with the kitchen and the bathroom. But I was thinking that maybe we want you to have a spellcaster that wasn't necessarily into potion making, but was more towards the kind of its spell side of being a spellcaster. And so I thought, better not add it in. If you wanted to add it in, there is enough money in the budget. As well as that, you could even just have like a normal sim that maybe wants to be a farmer one day and you want them to live in a little starter cottage, getting them ready for cottage living, and they had nothing to do with spells and potions, then it would make no sense for them to have one in this house. But anyway, moving on from that, as you can see, I'm just going around and I'm just doing a little bit more landscaping. As you can see, I did go a little bit landscaping happy, and you can see the rocks that I've just placed down is the rocks that was the only thing that actually cost me money in this whole entire build for the exterior. I do actually want to give myself the challenge of one day soon, maybe possibly building a fully fleshed out starter home. So not just the kitchen and the bathroom, but the full shebang, bedrooms and dining rooms with actual decorations, and actually try and clutter it up as much as possible, but still sticking to the single sim starter budget. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned it so far in this video, but this is to the single sim budget, which is 20,000 simoleons. But once my sim actually moved onto the lot, it was left at about 18,000. So this house, I think it actually cost around about 16,000 simoleons, but either way, I built it to a single sim budget. Obviously, if you have more sims in the household or if you have pets, you do get a little bit more money to work with, but I thought it would be best to kind of build it to a single sim budget. But yeah, let me know if you would like to see me build a fully fleshed out and decorated starter home, because I've done so many in the past, but I didn't actually have the mod where I can access the live edit menu and the debug menu, and I do use a lot of the debug and the live edit menu, not even just on exteriors of houses, but also on the interiors. So let me know. I think it'll be quite a fun challenge, and I really want to see what I could actually come up with. But anyway guys, I have actually reached the end of this voiceover, so as always, you can download this build via the gallery. My origin ID is JessicapieYT, or you can just search for the hashtag at JessicapieYT or just the hashtag Jessicapie. As always guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, if you do like my content, then please do subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speedbuilding video. Bye guys.